Ruby Franke had it all: millions of subscribers, a fortune from YouTube, and a brand built on what seemed like the perfect family life. At its peak, her 8 Passengers channel was pulling in over $100,000 per month, thanks to ad revenue, sponsorship deals, and paid content. With nearly 2.5 million subscribers, she was one of YouTube's biggest family vloggers, turning everyday parenting moments into a lucrative business. Her income streams were strong. YouTube ads alone brought in tens of thousands per month, and she had major sponsorships from brands like Shein, Clorox, and Target's Good & Gather food brand. Some estimates suggest she was making over $1.5 million annually between ad revenue, brand deals, and Patreon subscriptions, where she charged followers for exclusive parenting advice. On the surface, it looked like she had financial security, a massive platform, and an audience that trusted her. But then she threw it all away. As her channel grew, so did the controversy. Ruby's strict parenting style always raised some eyebrows, but the real turning point came when she openly bragged about her extreme disciplinary methods. In one infamous video, she laughed about making her son sleep on a beanbag for months as punishment. Fans who once admired her started mass reporting her to authorities, with Child Protective Services allegedly receiving multiple complaints. Rather than listening to criticism or adjusting her content, Ruby doubled down, convinced she was right. But things took a much darker turn when Ruby fell under the influence of Jodi Hildebrandt. At some point, Ruby crossed paths with Jodi Hildebrandt, a self-proclaimed life coach running a program called Connections Classroom. Jodi had a history of manipulative tactics and preached a strict, almost cult-like approach to parenting and self-improvement. She believed that children needed to suffer to become morally pure. Her teachings emphasized that physical suffering built character, that cutting off loved ones was necessary for spiritual clarity, and that parents must exert complete control over their children. Ruby didn't just buy into it, she made it her new personality. Under Jodi's influence, Ruby's parenting became even more extreme. She distanced herself from her husband, became estranged from her older children, and started enforcing even harsher punishments. Her children were forced to endure long, cruel punishments, such as sleeping on the floor for extended periods, being denied meals as discipline, complete isolation from outside support, and extreme emotional abuse, where they were told they were evil and needed to be fixed. Ruby became convinced that suffering was a necessary part of raising disciplined children, completely disregarding the concerns of her family, friends, and viewers. But why did Ruby risk her family, her following, and now her freedom? The answer lies in power, control, and ego. Jodi's teachings fed Ruby's authoritarian parenting style, reinforcing her belief that strict punishment wasn't just right, it was necessary. The more people pushed back, the more she doubled down, convinced she was on some higher path. At the same time, ego played a massive role. Ruby built her career on the idea that she was a perfect mother with all the answers. Admitting she was wrong, even as people begged her to reconsider, meant destroying the brand she built. Instead of listening, she surrounded herself with Jodi's echo chamber, where any dissent was dismissed as evil. Financially, she could have easily pivoted. Other family vloggers have faced backlash and bounced back. But Ruby's devotion to Jodi was stronger than her loyalty to her fans, her career, and even her children. She believed she was cleansing her life of negativity when, in reality, she was destroying everything. Real quick, if you're enjoying this breakdown of viral internet scandals and financial downfalls, make sure to subscribe to Cash Insiders. We're growing fast and about to hit 100 subscribers. Be one of the early ones to join before we blow up. As Ruby's content became more extreme, her audience turned against her. People who once saw her as a relatable mom started calling her out for child abuse. Sponsors dropped her completely. No brand wanted to be associated with the growing controversy. YouTube views plummeted, and her once loyal followers stopped watching. Instead of pivoting or trying to repair her image, she kept pushing connections, alienating what little audience she had left. Then, in August 2023, everything came crashing down. One of Ruby's malnourished children escaped Jodi Hildebrandt's house and ran to a neighbor for help, exposing the horrific conditions they had been living in. The child had open wounds, duct tape marks, and visible signs of starvation. When police arrived, they found another child in a similar state. The arrest was swift. Both Ruby and Jodi were charged with aggravated child abuse. Overnight, any remaining income disappeared. YouTube demonetized her channel, cutting off ad revenue. Sponsors had already left, but now even Patreon removed her account, eliminating another income stream. YouTube deleted all her content, erasing years of work and any chance of rebuilding her brand. She went from being a millionaire influencer to having absolutely nothing. In the end, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt pleaded guilty, and were sentenced to between 4 and 30 years in prison. But even if Ruby were released early, she would never be able to rebuild her career. Her name is permanently linked to child abuse, internet infamy, and one of the biggest influencer scandals in history. This isn't just a story about a YouTuber. It's a lesson in how financial ruin isn't always about bad investments or reckless spending. Sometimes it's about the people you trust, the advice you follow, and the beliefs you adopt. Ruby had everything: wealth, influence, and success. But in the end, she gambled it all on blind loyalty to the wrong person and lost everything. What would you have done differently? Let me know in the comments below.